put. I thought you had learned this.
Stop hiding behind words, Malik. You wield the creed and its tenets like some shield. He's keeping things from us. Important things. You were the one told me we could never know anything, only suspect. Well, I suspect this business with the Templars goes deeper. When I'm done with Robert, I will ride for Masyaf that we may have answers. But perhaps you could go now.
I cannot leave the city.
Then walk amongst its people. Seek out those who served the ones I slew. Learn what you can. You call yourself perceptive. Perhaps you'll see something I could not.
I don't know. I must think on this.
Do as you must, my friend. But it's time I ride for Arsuf. Every moment I delay, our enemy gets one step ahead of me.
Be careful, brother.
I will be. I promise.
For the Christian king and his army of infidels!
Don't be so.
If there's one thing I learned in the last run that I did, it's that throwing knives are really powerful in the next part. Because you can stand on top of the barricades and throw knives at the people who are coming at you. So on the third wave, I think it's the third, maybe fourth, on the second last wave that you fight, or the last wave before you get to Robert, it's very strong to use throwing knives. Shit.
Come, have a look! You won't be disappointed.
When will you stop acting like a
that
fool?
fool do is going to cause trouble.
They've been going pretty well. This one could have been better, like a lot better, I think. I really could have been many seconds ahead, or minutes actually. I could have been much farther ahead than I am now. I wasted three or 4 minutes on Tamir because I died like 3 times. And then I wasted 5 minutes somewhere on William, I think, because I died and then I messed up a second time. So like, I could be 8 minutes farther ahead than I am right now, Acre. But otherwise, it's been pretty good.
You can use stealth kills to create a distraction.
Also, if combat goes well here, I could gain like 10 minutes, so...
Or performing a stealth assassination.
Yep, for sure. Any PB is a form of improvement. Alright, so I fast travel to Acre and then go to the Kingdom instead of just going to the Kingdom and riding to Arsuf, because Arsuf is right outside of Acre. So instead of riding all the way across the Kingdom to Acre to get to Arsuf, I just go to Acre and loading screen. It doesn't save that much time, but it's like 30 seconds to a minute-ish. Because the loading screens end up taking a lot of time as well, but it saves quite a bit.
Don't let him get away!
Countering a strong attack will leave your enemy vulnerable. Finish him by breaking his legs, or by throwing him to the ground.
Plus I lost 40 seconds on the splits that I have right now, 40 seconds to a minute, because I accidentally paused my timer when IRC crashed and I had to log back in. So the time's not as good as it looks, but it's not, still not bad right now. Oh my god.
Give up! You... Yes! Gel buraya. Belki farkında değilsin ama hali hazırda kaybettin. Beni yenemeyeceksin.
Yeah, I have collected all the flags in the past. It is by far not that fun. Especially since it doesn't tell you which flags you've gotten and which ones you haven't. Because, like, when you're looking at a map or something of the map of the flags, you're like, I don't know if I've gotten that one yet. Better check anyway. And then you have, and you're like, shit, I just wasted a lot of time. These fights are going relatively well right now, with the exception of that counterattack right there. That was okay. This next fight, I think it is. I'm not sure. I have to like see. No, it's not this one. It's the one after this. I can use throwing knives, and that saves like a lot of time because throwing knives kill the I think they're Templars actually, but they kill them instantly. Whereas you have to use like 4 to 5 sword attacks that are successful for each guy to kill them. Oh, it's the one after this one, I think. I'm not sure. But you have to use a lot of sword attacks to kill them, and it takes a lot of time to do that for each one. So as you can see, I'm not the best at timing out counterattacks. I'm getting better at it, but like still a lot of improvement. Combat in this game is a lot about rhythm as well, because if you don't have the rhythm for their blocks, you don't actually do any damage. Like when they just deflect the attack instead of blocking it, you don't do any damage to them. So like that does twice as much damage. That does a single time of damage. But like when they deflect it, let's see if I can show you. But right now it's not happening, so it's a good thing, but not for my explanation. Like right there, that deflection, you do no damage during that deflection. So like if you get a deflection like that, that's no damage. If they do like a counterattack, or not a counterattack, but if they block and it looks like you bounce off of them, that's 1 damage. If you hit them while they're not blocking, that's 2. And it's a multiplicative. So like if I do 3 damage, then it's 3 damage and 6 damage. So hitting people who can't block is actually a lot better because you deal twice as much damage. So what happens is when you're in combat like this, if you kill 3 people successfully without getting hit, one person in the group gets stunned and they like look like they're gagging or whatever, like this guy right here. So during that time, he can't block. So if I hit him, I deal twice as much damage, and he can't block. So if you get combos going, it saves a lot of time, but it's difficult to do that in these harder groups with like more difficult enemies. Oh, the counter, when you do a counterattack, it does a specific amount of damage, and if the damage doesn't kill the person, it just stuns them instead of killing them. So like, I think counterattacks do the most amount of damage out of all your attacks, but like,
What is the meaning of this?
for the stronger enemies, it doesn't kill them. Eventually, you will kill them with a counterattack if like I said, the damage will kill them. It'll do the death animation, but like, until then, it'll just stun them. And also, what's really retarded is that if you stun somebody with a counterattack and they're a boss, you can't hit them while they're down. So like, it actually, against bosses, like against Robert here, you'll see me do it, it's faster to not counterattack them. If you guard, this fight is actually the most difficult fight, but if you guard instead of counterattack, it saves time because you can get more attacks in per second.
To support him. Some of my best men were murdered by some of yours.
It was I who killed them, and for good reason. Hear me out. William of Montferrat. He sought to use his soldiers to take Acre by force. Gagné de Naplouse. He would use his skills to indoctrinate and control any who resisted. Sabran. He intended to block the ports, preventing your kingdom from providing aid. They betrayed you, and they took their orders from Robert.
You expect me to believe this outlandish tale?
You knew these men, better than I. Are you truly surprised to learn of their ill intentions?
Is this true?
Yeah, unfortunately, counterattacking isn't the fastest way to do this fight, so like, I can't, I mean I can try it, it's the safest probably, but it's not the fastest.
You're afraid of what will happen to your little fortress. Can it withstand the combined might of the Saracen and the Crusader army?
My concern is for the people of the Holy Land. If I must sacrifice myself for there to be peace, so be it.
The sword and dagger actually do the same amount of damage. The difference is that the dagger
each of you accusing the other.
it attacks faster. So technically the dagger is the best weapon.
I must be off to meet with Saladin and enlist his aid. The longer we delay, the harder this will become.
Hold a moment, Robert.
Why?
Actually, I think it does do less damage, but the attack animation is incredibly fast
It is a
compared to the
difficult
sword.
decision, one I cannot make alone. I must leave it in the hands of one wiser
So it
than
ends
I.
up being better in the long
Thank
run.
you.
No, Robert, not you.
Then who?
The Lord. Let this be
But sword has
decided by
longer
combat.
reach,
Surely
so like in
God
bigger
will
fights,
side with
sword's
the one
better.
whose cause is righteous.
because if you
this
can
is
get the
what you
counter,
wish,
if you can get the
it
combos
is.
where the guys are being
So be
stunned,
it.
if you can get those combos, it's the fastest way to go about it. So I'm gonna try to kill these guys while they're down, because that's the fastest way to do it. These guys are all Templars. You remember, like, as you probably know, Templars in the game are the hardest enemies to kill, like, because there's usually only one of them, compared to like groups of guards. In this fight, you fight all Templars, so they all have the difficulty of a regular Templar, except there's a lot of them. This fight is actually going incredibly well. Oh my god, dude, that was fucking golden.
The time for games is ending.
So yeah, against this guy, if he attacks me, it's faster to just guard instead of countering. Because if I counter, he gets put on the ground and I do less attacks per second. Also, I don't want to go out of bounds here.